Welcome friends! I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'll be sharing to you my thoughts on this Himi Miya Guache Spray as well as some tips in using gouache. Here's an ASMR unboxing for you before we start. So I got the spray September 2020. Fast forward to January 2021. So this is how my palette's cover looks like. So there are leaks in between. Now there are cracks on the jelly gouache which are on the sides. If you can see here, the middle ones seem okay, but the ones on the side are cracked. So I neglected this palette for a bit after the holidays, and I'm surprised that it looks like this now. Gouache reminds me of something similar that we used back in college, which are poster paints. Here is a sample of my plate back in college, which was, I think, more than 10 years ago. This is an unfinished college plate. There's supposed to be more details here, like the shadows and the shadings on the wall. So I tried to revive the gouache using the Himi Miya spray. As you can see here, I don't think I can fully revive those cracked parts though, but still hoping for magic. Tip number 1. Use a palette knife to keep the colors clean and pure. You can set up a mini palette with only the colors that you're going to use. Just make sure to clean your palette knife before picking up another color. I usually paint using watercolors, so I'm curious to try glazing technique for your gouache, trying to see if the colors will come through if I use light washes. I am familiar with using acrylics. I used to use acrylics before, very similar in the way that I use watercolor. So this is what I'm trying to do here. So here's tip number 2. For gouache, you have to keep in mind that some light colors will appear darker when it dries, and some darker colors, or actually most dark colors, will appear lighter when it dries. One of the most frustrating things about this medium is that the colors usually look dull after it dries. So here's tip number 3. So this is what we do back in college to make it shiny or glossy or make the color pop like it's wet before. So just use a fixing spray. You may use Grumbacher matte fixing spray or any gloss fixing spray if that's the finish you want. If you're on a budget, you can just buy a clear spray paint. Yes, that works. You can give it a try. Let me know if that works for you. Not only does this trick make your gouache look more vibrant, it also seals in the color so it does not get reactivated. Tip number 4. Don't get discouraged if your painting looks scary. There could be ugly stages in a painting, and what's great with gouache is that you can work in layers so you can easily paint over your mistakes and make adjustments as you like. Tip number 5. Experiment with the consistency and try different brushes. For smooth texture, you can use more water and enough paint to make a creamy consistency. For texture, you can try using thinner and pointy brushes like round brushes, and try doing some hatching or cross hatching. Just have fun and experiment. Tip number 6. While it's not necessary for you to use a watercolor paper for gouache, make sure your paper is tough enough and thick enough to withstand the brush scrubbing on the surface. Tip number 7. Another use of the Himi Miya Guache Spray is to spray it directly on your palette to keep it moist for longer. It's especially helpful for those who live in very hot and dry places like me. I find that my palette stayed moist longer than with just using water. For tip number 8, I didn't want to use the full bottle to revive my gouache set. So what I did is I used a combination of the spray, the Himi Miya Guache Spray, to prevent the molds, and also used distilled water. I know it looks flooded, but it's just that I was not able to mix this yet, but they're all going back to their original consistency. In a way, I think of it as like watering your plants, so I do check it from time to time and drop some water wherever I see that it's getting dry. Tip number 9. You can use a humidifier to keep your palette moist. So just use a humidifier like this and put your palette on the side, and that will keep your palette moist. Tip number 10. For small paintings, you can try to use nail art brushes for the details. They are very cheap and gets the job done. For a bonus tip, always have a separate clean brush at hand. This will save you time and paint if you're going to use the loaded brush on other areas of the painting. Here I'm just adding finishing touches or highlights using this metallic set, watercolor metallic set that I've got. Colors are really nice and comparable to Fine Tech, but it's really affordable. If you're curious about this set and you want me to review this for you, let me know in the comments section. I made the whole skin tone warmer to suit the hair and also added leaves on the sides to frame her. Now it's time to remove the washi tape. This paper is not really designed for wet medium, so just take note that the paper is going to stick on the washi tape, so be very careful when removing your tape. I hope this video was helpful and that you learned something. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.